December 14th, have your Carolina Panthers update. So as always, after the day after the game, we'll get a chance to talk to head coach Matt Rule. You know, I always like to also give you guys a lot of, as much as I can, behind the scenes kind of feelings. And Coach Matt Rule, he likes the media. I wouldn't say he likes, but I like the way that he deals with the media. Today, he talked to us for about 40 minutes. I think about 30 minutes into it, 25 minutes into it, they went to cut it off. And he's like, hey, no, whatever questions that the guys have, let's go through them all. And I appreciate that. That allows us media people to get a lot of good information to report back to you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go into the things that I pulled from that conference to share with you all that I feel is most useful for fans out there. One is, how are we going to handle the remainder of the season? Got my graphic right? So yesterday I was thinking like, hey, Coach Matt Rule's biggest challenge is going to be not winning a game, but I think it may just be keeping players focused, not having them check out. And he talked about that today as far as having players just kind of space out, and he feels like, what's the key to helping the players stay in tune? He said one thing is he feels like he's been building a culture where they have pros around there and good leaders like Shaq Thompson and other guys that want to play. He said Shaq Thompson could have said, hey, I got a little nagging injury or something. I want to sit out, but he didn't. He wanted to play. That's one thing that he feels that is going on that will help him. Another thing that he's going to do, nothing special. He's like, I'm just going to continue to tell these guys the truth about what needs to be done and what kind of situations that we're in, and expect them to respond. What about not playing guys like maybe a Christian McCaffrey because he's been hurt and there's nagging injury? No, we don't want to do that either. When I say we, Coach Matt Rule, he doesn't want to just sit a player just because he wants to start having this big old tryout kind of team. And he says that for the team and the organization, he feels like it's important for them to know, hey, we never check it in. We never say, okay, the heck with this season. We try to win, and it's important that they start to have this mentality of knowing what it's like to try to win in December with distractions, knowing what it's like, and he said this, knowing what it's like to have to deal with trying to win a game, but you also got to get your wife a gift for Christmas, and you haven't gotten the gift yet. He says, I know that sounds funny, but there's so many distractions that could happen in the later part of the year that a young team needs to learn, even with Thanksgiving and what you're doing. Speaking of Thanksgiving, hey, there's rumors about the fines going to players. Coach Rule says he's going to keep that in-house. Not going to tell you guys whether or not some fines have happened in-house or not. But just going to, again, continue to try to win and set the tone, set the culture, let the organization know that it's important to win in December. So let's go to another one. Popular thing, and I tell you guys, I got to look at the film a lot more closely because there's a lot of criticism about Teddy Bridgewater, and I get some of the criticism, and I say some of the criticism because I hadn't yet wrapped my head around thinking like this guy isn't worthy of being our starting quarterback. Could there be betters? Yeah, but anyway, let me go into this. Some good information that came today with talking with talking with head coach Matt Rule. Teddy Bridgewater did a few things yesterday that just, you could question and wonder about his decision making. So there was a play, 2-minute warnings coming up, and Teddy Bridgewater runs a play. So here's the information that I have for you regarding that. Coach Matt Rule didn't like what happened. He says, he feels like you got to give quarterbacks in the NFL some gray areas. You can't make everything black and white. Do this, don't do this, do this. You can't make them robots. So Teddy has gray areas to do things. But with that being said, he still doesn't approve of the fact that Teddy Bridgewater ran that play before the 2-minute warning. Now, he says when he looked at the tape, did he see what Teddy saw? And understand, yeah, he does see what Teddy saw, but he still does not like the fact that the play was run because they did not want a play to be ran at that time. All right, furthermore, tail end of the game, the play that went to Curtis Samuels. And yesterday, Coach Rule basically said that he would like to see that play go further down the field, closer to the sticks. He said today he felt the same way. Yet things weren't. He said one thing that you got to look at is Teddy is one part of the puzzle. Guys have to line up exactly where they're supposed to line up. When you have rub routes and scrubs, you got to have guys make those pattern cuts where they need to make them, exactly where they need to make them, to put themselves in the best position to catch the ball. And not all of that happened yesterday. But even with that being said, it feels like you can't throw it that short. You got to throw it further down the field. Give a guy like Robbie Anderson a chance to make a play. If he catches it further down the field, he has less of a spectacular play that he needs to make than when you throw it short to Curtis Samuel, and then he has to make even more of a heck of a spectacular play to get that first down. All right, I see some comments coming. Keep those comments coming. I promise you I'm almost done with the things that I want to share with you guys. Live shows because I want to interact with you, so I'll get to those questions that you guys are typing in the comments. Also, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, hop on over to YouTube. I can see your comments there. Love to talk with you guys about this game and about the conversation that we had with Coach Matt Rule today. So those are some factual information from Coach Rule about Teddy Bridgewater. And he said, hey, he's not going to get into a huge evaluation of the future right now. He still needs to get prepared for Green Bay. That game is a Saturday, not a Sunday game. So, and he overall, he said up to us all year when asked about certain players, he'll talk a little bit about the now, but he won't get into a complete player evaluation at this time. All right, we got another one for you guys. Definitely like that this came up today because it was asked of me yesterday, and I got it. But when it was first asked, I was thrown off because I was thinking, well, he was listed on the injury report, but that was not the case. So Greg Little has been a healthy scratch for the past 2 games, and Coach Rule was asked about Coach Rule was asked about Greg Little, essentially saying this: he likes Trent Scott. Excuse me, live TV, you get to see when I have a hiccup. He likes Trent Scott, and they have an 8-man rotation that they have been using, and they like the way that has been going. He's not saying that Greg Little is doing anything that he doesn't want, which to me, it's a little bit of coach's talk, meaning he doesn't want to throw guys under the bus in terms of saying like what he's not doing right and what he's not liking. But he says Russell Okung had that calf injury this past Sunday. If Russell Okung is not able to go, then Greg Little will be up. But again, he's saying that he's liked the flexibility and the performance and play of Trent Scott and the 8-man rotation that they go to. They only want to have 8, and activating Greg right now would be 9, which they don't want to do for their positions for that rotation on the offensive line. All right, and what else do I have for you all? Transactions. We had a few transactions that are going. Don't have it on the screen for you, so I will just say it twice. Actually, I can't even say this one, so I should have had it up. So give me just a split second. Not sure I'll be able to get it up for you, but I'll tell you. See if I can't figure out how to say this guy's name. But give me just a second, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna try to get this up so you all that know how to say people's names will be able to. All right, I can't say it, but Liram Harashuwalawa. He's a kicker that we had signed on our team as an emergency guy from Canada. Liram Harad, who, man, I'm so sorry, I'm butchering this guy's name. But anyway, the Carolina Panthers have basically received word that they're going to have to waive that guy because his work visa, which to me just sounds like an incredible situation. I don't know the details of how that works. Isn't good, so they're going to have to waive him. And I say it's kind of interesting because you got F.A. Bada, but I guess it's still, even though guys can be over here, they got to have paperwork done. It's amazing that he got over here, doesn't have his paperwork properly accounted for. Nevertheless, official moves, they released wide receiver Shelton Gibson, and then they signed wide receiver Vento Bryant. And Vento Bryant is a guy that has experience with Coach Matt Rule over at Temple, but that is a practice squad move. So Shelton Gibson was a wide receiver in the practice squad, been released. And then Ventel Bryant is a wide receiver that has previous experience with Coach Rule at Temple. He is going to be on the practice squad. So let's see what kind of questions you all have for me. So I'll make sure that I address these before I get off of here. What's up, B. Evans? Hydro Life. He was at the game yesterday. Hey, that game was hot. Wasn't it hot out there? But cool that you made it to the game. Just got some comments about Teddy needing to be able to throw the ball away. And he does. Commented about the 2-minute warning and the play calling. Okay. And I like this. I appreciate you said my stream is a little bit jumpy and laggy at times. So I will definitely look into that. I will have some more upgrades for you guys next year. But I appreciate any comments about the broadcast because I do want it to be something that is not distracting as far as the quality where you can pay attention and listen to the content that I have. So anytime that you guys notice something, please don't hesitate to leave it in the comments so I can continue to make some improvements on the channel. Let's see here. Shakid, appreciate you always signing in, Shaq. Phil Snow's last name is Snow. Please ask him how exactly is the coach again. All right, good question. I usually miss his live conference with Shaq, though, when we talk to the offensive and defensive coordinators. But if I happen to get on, I'll be able to throw that one out there for you. What's up, Trill? Yes, LaMelo Ball did buy Cam Newton's home in Charlotte, and that is downtown on Tryon Street. I'm not the coolest person, so I can't think of the exact name of the restaurant, but it's almost at Trade and Tryon, but it's one block over above a restaurant, kind of where Jordan used to live, or actually I think Jordan still has his place there. LaMelo Ball did purchase Cam Newton's home, so yeah, thanks for bringing that up. What else we got here? Appreciate you, Al Rogers, saying welcome back. Yeah, Allie talking about we're falling short in the game, and yeah, we definitely seem to fall short in all these games. And so one thing is, Coach Rule always talks about the effort that he's proud of from these guys, and they do continue to put forth a great effort no matter what's happening. I think that's some good coaching. Says that they need to get more discipline, and feels like that, if he was to do some self-reporting, self-evaluation, Coach Matt Rule, that is, about how the team played and what could have caused that coming off a bye week, he says that he feels that one of the things that he could have done better as a head coach coming off of this bye week, doesn't feel like he did so much, could have done anything better or changed anything from the bye week in terms of giving the players off. But he feels like he could have perhaps not put guys in such large of a role that hadn't played so much coming off the time away. And was asking a lot of those guys to only have one day of practice and then go into playing an NFL game. Not saying that he would not have played them, but just made have played them a little bit differently, and definitely said that he would have practiced things a little differently. Felt like he moved some wide receivers around a little too much the last couple of days of practice, trying to be able to have practice without guys like Curtis Samuel being there, and then suddenly you have them there, and then you're just suddenly moving things around. Then you move it around again to try to get Curtis Samuel the ball. So that was some of the things that he talked about, and also in terms of being so close, one of the things that he touched on was, and this is comment, Ali, off your comment about being so close to the game, just not being able to close out those close games, was such a young team, and he's not harping on it. He's certainly saying, hey, I'm dealing with the hand that I was dealt. So, and every coach is being dealt the same hand with this COVID situation. But they would have missed out on so many snaps, 1,000, 5,000 snaps from guys from having a preseason, from having practices at Spartanburg that they didn't have, and they're still trying to play catch up with that. And maybe if he had had those, who knows how things could be. But nevertheless, he's still proud of the guys for the effort that are giving him throughout an entire game. So thoughts on PJ for Green Bay? So I feel the same as Coach Rule does, in that you don't just start throwing changes in there and having tryouts at this point. You still try to win the games, and you try to set a precedence that every game is important and we're not just having tryouts. So PJ Walker, you can get excited about his arm because he has a heck of an arm. No secrets there. He has the best arm as far as power from the quarterbacks. But this has been Teddy Bridgewater's team all season long. Teddy Bridgewater has performed well overall throughout the season. Certainly got some things that are going on right now that you want to see fixed. And I don't see a need to just pull him and put PJ Walker in there. I think that puts you into dealing with some things from what do we do with Teddy and just managing the locker room. So I like that we're not just throwing all those guys in there, especially when you got, as he said, veterans that are saying, hey, I want to play, I want to try to win now. So you got to take that into consideration. Hydro Life, Ali Broderick, Trill, Shaki, Chris Johnson, appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in for this report. Again, on Monday, December 14th. Like the video if you're still watching. It's a good way to help other Panther fans find out about the channel, and also consider setting those notifications because that will allow you to know when I'm live. Nickname Man of the People because I like to interact and take your questions directly and ask players and coaches. So thank you for